What's going on, my Century Unit Galaxy? Is the Central Man here. So this is episode 3 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe movie review series. We got the third movie of phase 1 of the MCU. So today I'm reviewing Iron Man 2. This is a sequel to the first movie. This movie was released in 2010, 2 years after the release of the very first movie that was released in May of 2008. A very funny fact that in 2009, there is no movies for the MCU was released in that year, 2009. Yeah, Marvel released a movie in 2009 that was X-Men Origin Wolverine. That was a shitstorm of a film, but the MCU didn't release a movie. 2010 to the present day, actually didn't release a movie in 2020. Originally, it was the Black Widow movie was originally supposed to be released in 2020. Unfortunately, it was delayed due to COVID. The COVID pandemic. So they pushed it back to 2021 this year. There's reports that the Black Widow movie will be on the Disney Plus app. So I'll talk about it. That's a future video for another time. Anyway, so Iron Man 2. I'm guessing this movie was released in April of 2010 because I think the first movie was released in May of 2008. That could be I think it's the American release date. I think ours was released in 2008. Really a month later. I might be wrong. I might be 100% wrong. Anyway. So, this movie was a bit downgraded than the first movie. Sometimes sequels are never the same as the first. So, let's talk about the cast. I don't talk about the whole plot of the movie, some of the plots, but if I talk about the whole plot of this film, that would be a long movie to talk about. I'm trying to keep about 20 to 30 minutes, sometimes 40. Anyway, so the cast for this movie. So we got Robbie Downey Jr. as Iron Man Tony Stark. Gwyneth Paltrow as Pepper Potts. We also got new characters for this sequel to Iron Man 2. So we got we got Don Cheadle as James Rhodey Rhodes, as he's War Machine in this movie. Everyone. The story's that the original movie, the first movie, Rhodey was played by Terrence Howard. I'm guessing like Howard quit, not to renew his role as Rhodey. I'm guessing it's due to money. So Don Cheadle took his place, and I like Don Cheadle as Rhodey, War Machine. In this installment, Iron Man 2, he was okay, but in better movies and future movies, he played a better role. He had better performance. Don Cheadle. But in this movie, he did okay, but not great, not fantastic. But that's just me. Anyway, we got new characters for this sequel to Iron Man. We got John, was it Favreau? He's the director for the first two Iron Man movies. I think he directed the third movie. I'll get to the third movie. That'll be, I think it's the first movie of phase 2. Yeah, we're still in phase 1, so he's in this movie as well. He plays Happy Hogan. And also we got I'll get to the villains shortly. So, and also we got Scarlett Johansson as Natasha Romanoff, Black Widow, and she entered this movie as Natalie Rushman, because, basically, Tony High Pepper, she was, in the first movie, Pepper was Tony's PA, personal assistant. In the sequel, Tony promoted Pepper as, the CEO, the chairman of Stark Industry. And, you got Natasha, Black Widow, Natalie, I'm gonna call it Natasha, Natasha Romanoff. She is Tony's new PA, and it's a funny part in this movie. I kind of like, it's one of my personal favorites in this movie. Tony and Hogan, they were sparring. They're not, I don't think they were boxing, Tony, was wearing some MMA gloves. It's not boxing gloves, like MMA gloves, karate gloves. Funny part that, basically, Natasha getting to the ring, and basically locked Hogan in an armbar. Yeah, she's the master of the armbar. This is like a decade before Ronda Rousey is the master of the armbar. It'd be really funny if Ronda Rousey be Black Widow. That'll be in the future installment. Because I get guaranteed that Black Widow movie will be Scarlett Johansson's last as Black Widow. Anyway, so she did like a different version of an armbar later on in this movie. I'll get to because he locked a armbar onto, I think it's like the shoulder blade armbar onto Sam Rockwell's character. I'll get to his character shortly. Anyway, her performance, she was a badass. It's being the Sam Rockwell's, and fuck it. You got Sam Rockwell as Justin Hammer. Justin Hammer is basically, Tony Stark's main, he owns, he's one of, like, Stark's main rival company. What's it called? Hammer Tech. Because Stark's got Stark Industry, Hammer's got Hammer Tech. So, you got Black Widow being the fuck out of, Hammer's henchman. That was sick. And then you got, like, Hogan, who's struggling with the one villain. He's trying to be like, trying to be a bit big and strong and brave, but he can't even beat one guy. He beat one guy. I think they did a reference to Mike Tyson. He bit the guy's ear. It's a reference to when Mike Tyson bit the ear of Evander Holyfield. That was in the 90s. So it's a good throwback to there in 2008. Oh, 2010. Sorry, my bad. So, anyway, so yeah, Sam Rockwell as Justin Hammer. He's the main villain of this movie. He plays that character very well in this movie. He's playing the role as this, cocky villain. I kind of like it, I think he's a dancer. It's a shame he never came back, Yeah, because he didn't show up in, Iron Man 3. He might show up in the future installments, Gray and J.S. Matthews did the same review I'm talking about it, the review of Iron Man 2. He talks about he could come back, be part of the Spider-Man movies because, like in phase, in the last, really in the last movie of Phase 3, Spider-Man was kind of be groomed to becoming the next, Peter Parker, becoming the next grooming to become the next Tony Stark. I don't want to get into it, so I think that's dumb because Spider-Man and Iron Man are two different because, yeah, they kind of like have this father and son love. I don't know, not father and son, but they got like, Spider-Man sees Tony Stark, Iron Man as a father figure. Because Peter Parker, Spider-Man never grew up without a dad. Anyway, enough with Spider-Man. That'll be in the future installments in this series. That'll be in Phase 2 and Phase 3. Anyway, let's get back to Iron Man 2. So anyway, he plays well in this movie, Iron Man, like, in the first two movies, they produce good villains, good actors play good villains, you got, because in the first Iron Man movie, you got Jeff Bridges portraying the role as Obadiah Stane, and then also you got Sam Rockwell as Justin Hammer, he's basically the main competition for Tony Stark, anyway, so, we got, Mickey Rourke as Ivan Vanko Whiplash. He's a downgrade. See, this is a problem. He's a bit of downgrade from Obadiah Stane. Mickey Rourke plays that character well, but he's, I think, like Vanko's from Russia. He's speaking in like his Russian accent was good, but not great. I think the character speaks broken English. I think he plays that well, but I don't know, he's a bit downgraded than Obadiah Stane. It's really funny that, speaking of the Gray and J.S. Matthews review of Iron Man 2, they talk about, it's really funny, I've done my research on the Vanko, the beginning of this movie you had, Mickey Rourke's, Ivan Vanko, with his dad, his dad, that's Anton Vanko. Unfortunately, he died in this movie. And on my research, his dad was personally he's the first, he was the original villain for Iron Man. That was in the old comics. And then I'm guessing like Ivan was the newest character. I'm guessing that was 2 years after the release of the movie, I think. You know, I don't really read a lot of comics sometimes, but I'm not really. I prefer to watch my superheroes on TV and also going to the pictures, you know, the movies. But anyway, so when I saw that, but basically the motive for Whiplash is destroying Iron Man. I don't know what he did. It's got to do with Anton have like a big problem. He has a feud with Tony Stark's dad Howard, maybe because that during the Cold War, in the 60s, 50s and 60s. It's kind of weird. It reminds me of Amazing Spider-Man 2. When Norman died and Harry becomes the Green Goblin. It's kind of backwards, because everyone knows that Norman is the Green Goblin first, then Harry. In this movie, you had, Anton is the first, he become Crimson Dynamo. Unfortunately, we never got to get that in this movie. You got basically, Ivan trying to follow his dad's legacy because Tony's following his dad's legacy. I don't want to get into it. It did a disservice. It's like in the previous movie, in this series, I reviewed last time I reviewed Incredible Hulk. They kind of ignored the origin of Incredible Hulk. That's okay because we all know, Bruce Banner became the Hulk, but to never get to see, Anton be the guy to stop Tony Stark, it's a massive disservice. I wish Mickey Rourke to be Anton, not Ivan. I wish Ivan could be this boy. And then, if Anton dies, he can follow the legacy into a future movie. Unfortunately, that's not the case. He did alright in this movie. It's very funny that he has a pet cockatoo. It's a bird. Because at this point, later on in this movie, Vanko and Hammer form this alliance, to destroy Tony Stark. He wants to build some weapons, his armor because he's trying to compete with the Stark Industry. Hammer Tech's trying to compete with Stark Industry because they made better suits. There's one scene Tony. This was in Washington D.C. in a hearing. Tony shows the clips of basically Hammer doing really doing failed projects of the suits. He cannot do the same thing what Tony does, because Tony built that suit in a cave in Afghanistan in the first movie. So that I don't know. Anyway, so he got this pet cockatoo, and then basically he do not listen. He kind of stab Hammer in the back a bit, for not making the suits or the armor. He's building his armor of his own, and then later on, one of his henchmen took his bird, put it in the sack, and then later on he killed the fucking henchman. That was off screen. He called Tony on the phone, his hands covered in blood. I understand they're trying to keep it PG because I'm guessing in America it's PG-13 in America, in the UK and probably in Europe I think it's like a 12A. I think it's a 12A. And later on, in later years, the MCU movies are 15A because of the swearing. We're not gonna see. I think the Deadpool movie was 18. That's not part of the MCU. I think Deadpool will be in the MCU. Another story, another time. Anyway, so we got Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury. I never saw him in Incredible Hulk, but he appeared in the post-credit of Iron Man 1. He showed up a little bit in Iron Man 2. It's funny part when Tony's basically eating donuts on the middle of a giant donut. It says Randy Donuts. And you got Nick Fury says, "Sir, you must get away from the donut. You need leave the donut." It's basically Tony's eating a box of donuts on top of the giant donut. He says, "Please leave the donut." That's funny. I think it's one of the most memorable scenes in this movie. And he's on this end of the movie, basically Tony was looking up for folders, and Nick told him not to look at that one. Oh, also we got Coulson back as, you know, what's it called? Clark Gregg as Coulson. He's back in this movie. Only paid for like a cup of coffee. He put in the post credits. I'll get to it a little shortly, a bit later on in this review. But yeah, it's good to see Clark Gregg as Coulson. I don't know much about Coulson. I think people like him, but I kind of like him a little bit. He appeared in a little bit in Iron Man 1, only a little bit, about 5. He had like a little bit lines in the first movie, but in the second movie, only appeared on one scene, and that was it until the post credits. Anyway, so, and also there were some cameos in this movie. You got Stan Lee in another cameo. I fucking like Stan Lee. He's playing in every cameo of a Marvel movie because, in the first movie he was Hugh Hefner, not Earl Hebner. Earl Hebner is the referee in pro wrestling. Hugh Hefner is basically a founder of Playboy. Not 100% sure. And then the second movie he drinks like the juice. I'm guessing with mixed with Bruce Banner's blood in Incredible Hulk. In this cameo in Iron Man 2, he was Larry King. Sorry. I heard rumors like Larry King passed away today or tomorrow or yesterday. It's basically one scene. Basically Tony Stark's you don't see Tony Stark's head. I'm guessing he was drunk. There was a scene like I'm guessing he was drunk. He was signing like fans autographs, and then you see basically Stan as Larry King. I don't know why they made him as Larry King. Doesn't he? I think he looks a little bit of Larry King. He doesn't look like Hugh Hefner. I don't understand why. I'm guessing like he was basically a joke. I'm guessing it was a bit of a joke. I understand. I don't want to get into it. So anyway, so I found out on Wikipedia that Olivia Munn was supposed to be in this movie as an unnamed character. Unfortunately, it was basically she was cut in the last minute. I don't think she'll be anything in this movie. Probably like a short character, but I don't know. She appeared years later in 2016 in X-Men's Apocalypse. I don't know the member of her character. She was one of the baddies. I'll probably review Apocalypse in the near future. But that's on Wikipedia. And also you got this little kid wearing an Iron Man suit. Oh, actually not wearing an Iron Man suit, but wearing like the Iron Man helmet. And when you got the basically like Vanko sabotaged the armor, the suits, and this giant suit trying to go after the kid. Iron destroyed the suit. It says good job. And I don't know what I think it's called. I don't know what it's called. Basically, I found out on YouTube. Before I reviewed this movie, I found out that it's supposed to be Peter Parker, Spider-Man. This is like 6 years before he will appear in Civil War. Like I said, they found like this father and son. They're not father and son, but Spider-Man sees Iron Man, Tony Stark as a father figure. So. It's a bit of an Easter eggs. I don't talk about Easter eggs. I don't get the whole reference in Easter eggs in games or movies. There are Easter eggs. I don't want to talk about the post-credit scenes. I'll talk about it a little bit later on. You had the Captain America shield in this movie. It was kind of like a prototype. I'm guessing like with Tony was working something, and then you got Coulson showing up. Coulson, he kind of helped him, saw that this, he said, what do you get? It's basically like, everyone knows, like, Tony's dad, Howard, worked with Captain America, Steve Rogers, in the Second World War. It wasn't really a damaged shield. It looks like it's a prototype. Because the real shield was still in the block of ice. Yeah, I burped. Because I had chicken. Anyway. Let's see. Anyway, so the fight. Also, there was a lot of music in this movie. It was. I think they did like in the first 2 movies, or maybe 3 movies. It was ADDC. The rock band. There was a little bit. I don't really talk about theme music. I'm guessing like. I don't know if Robert Downey Jr. likes ADDC. There was some in this movie in the credit scenes. There were like the the highway to hell. I'm on the highway from hell. Highway from hell. You know, I like ADDC. Is that ABDC or ADDC? You know. Anyway, so anyway, and also during this fight between Tony and Rhodey, in the background, it was it's called Another Bites the Dust. That was, but it's not done by ADDC. It's done by Queen. That was good. The fight scenes a bit disappointed. It was okay, but I think better fight scenes in future movies. The fights with Tony and Rhodey, that was a bit good, you know, because Rhodey cannot pull up with Tony's shit, because in one scene in the movie, it was at because Tony hosts like a house party, and he's pissed, he's drunk, and he's starting throwing, like, shooting lasers, you know, someone's throwing like objects in the air, and he's basically shooting, you know, the objects down, you know. I'm guessing this is the same year as Fruit Ninja. I played Fruit Ninja, you know, the app game, the mobile app game. You can play it on your phone or your tablet. Yeah, you don't play on your game, on your computer, but I wish they released it on... Man, I wish they released it on game consoles, like on your PS4, your Xbox, or... That would be good, because, yeah, they released Minecraft, but... Anyway. So, yeah, Tony was shooting lasers of, I think it was a bottle of champagne and a watermelon, and then, you know, Rhodey can't take up Tony's shit anymore. He wears the silver suit, and he became War Machine. Had that fight, and that was fun, and also they did, like, the connection of the blasts, and, you know, I don't think he won the fight. I think it was kind of like a draw. He left, went back to the airbase, and kept the suit. And then, yeah, he became, you know, that Kristen's War Machine. There's some glimpses in the first movie. Rhodey saw the silver suit, but he kind of didn't do it, you know. It was, you know, he's put the suit into the second movie, and the future installments if Rhodey in, you know, in Iron Man 3, future Marvel movies like Avengers, Infinity, I think he put in Captain America Civil War, Avengers, Infinity War, Endgames. Anyway. So, anyway, the fight between Iron Man and Whiplash, disappointed. In the first fight and the second fight in the end of the movie, very disappointed, in my opinion. So basically, you know, he tracked him down in Monte Carlo, and also you got a cameo appearance of Elon Musk. You know, he's an inventor. He's basically, some people compare him as Iron Man, Tony Stark in real life, because they're both inventors. They're both inventing gadgets. You know. He appeared in this movie, yeah, and also, yeah, Tony appeared in a race. You know, I think they call it the Monte Carlo Grand Prix. You know, like, I think they cannot, you know, end up getting sued by, you know, Formula 1, you know. Formula 1 is still big. I think it's super global right now compared with, like, a decade ago. Anyway, Tony driving on the car, Whiplash tracking down, and then, you know, basically you had Hogan and Pepper driving the black car, and Pepper gave him the briefcase with the suit, and the suit was cool. The fight between Whiplash and Tony Stark, a bit disappointed. And then in the end, the fight, that was disappointing in my opinion. It was cool, but not so great, you know. The best fight in the Marvel Cinematic Universe has to be the fight between Iron Man, Captain America, and Winter Soldier. That was on phase 2, I think, or phase 3. Anyway, so yeah, it was a bit disappointed. Could be a lot better, but anyway, so anyway, so I think that's it. Yeah, there's nothing else to talk about. Yeah, this movie was, I don't say it was a bad movie. It's a bit better than Incredible Hulk. You know, Incredible Hulk was okay, but not great. Iron Man 2 was one of the most forgettable, like, movies of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. You know, if you place it into the Iron Man trilogy of movies, like, number 1's, like, top. I place it in the middle. Yeah, number 3 is bad, you know. I'll get to number 3 later on. We're still on phase 1, anyway. So, yeah, there's nothing else to talk about. Some banter between Tony and Rhodey. like Rhodey. Yeah, disappointing how like they forgot this like feeling relationship between Tony and Pepper. We saw some glimpses in the first movie, but in the second movie, it was disappointed. I'm sorry. Yeah, they kind of ignore it in the second movie. I don't know about the third movie. Yeah, they kind of kiss in the end, and basically Rhodey took a piss out of Tony. Yeah, Rhodey took a piss out of Tony. Something about seals kissing. I don't know. It was kind of like a fun dig. And also you had Howard Stern in this movie. It basically he's playing the role as a senator, and basically Tony called him an ass clown, and they kind of bleeped out the swearing, you know, because of TV. You know, they did because it's movies. Movies you can see you can see swearing was uncensored. You know, but yeah. Tony called him an ass clown, and Stern called him "fuck you, Tony." Was it fuck you, guy, something like that. And also in the end of this movie, Rhodey and Tony, you know, awarded medals, and then when Stern managed to put the medal onto Tony's chest, and he says it's annoying to be a little prick, something like that. He made it, you know, because you got the medals, you got that hook on the back of the medal. You know, he kind of like stabbed it onto the little bit of the chest. You don't bleed to death. It's just, I think he says it feels like a little prick sometimes. So, you know, it's kind of another dib at Tony. You know, they can allow that. You know, I think it was a 15. I think it was a 15. Yeah, I think it was 15. It's between a 12 or 15. You know, the rating of the movie. Anyway, yeah, I think that was it. And also you got Howard Stern in this movie. Yeah, he got killed off in, you know, they told a good story at, you know, Civil War, the third Captain America movie. You know, I'll get to the post-credit a little bit really shortly, but you got Howard Stark, in this movie. He was put in like a video montage scene, and the actor plays Howard Stark. What is an actor called John Slattery? I think that what his name is. John Slattery. Because Dominic Cooper plays Howard Stark. Man, why do I keep calling Howard Stern? You know, he was played in this movie Howard Stark. I'm trying to say. So anyway, so he played in John Slattery, and Dominic Cooper played the same role as Howard Stark, because Slattery played in this movie. I think he played in the Iron Man 1, Iron Man 2. Yeah, in the first beginning scenes, he appeared a little bit in Captain America: Civil War, and then Dominic Cooper appeared in Captain America First One, Captain America First Avenger, and then was it Agent Carter? No, Peggy Carter. I think it's Agent Carter, the TV show. That was Haley Atwell as Peggy Carter. That was not that good. I don't want to talk about it. It's just like not really good. Marvel in TV shows never produce. Yeah, it's starting getting well with WandaVision, but they never do well in the TV shows department. DC do well. DC did, they did well with with Arrow, Super, Legends of Tomorrow, Flash, Titans, Batwoman. Because, but with doing TV shows, they don't do well. They kind of handle it. I don't want to talk about it that much. So anyway, so yeah, there's nothing else to talk about it. So I'm gonna talk about let's talk about the post-credit scene. So this is planting more seeds of the Avengers movie. Like in the post-credit scenes, basically like Coulson said to Tony, "I'm relocated." He said he's relocated to New Mexico. In the post-credit scene, they saw Thor's hammer. That's the signs that they're making a Thor movie. So glimpses of Thor's hammer. It's like, holy shit! You can tell they're planting more seeds of the Avengers movie. Like in Iron Man 1, basically Nick Fury's basically planning to form the Avengers, and then in Incredible Hulk, basically Tony Stark talking to General Ross about he's gonna form talking about the Avengers, and now in this post-credit scene, you got the hammer. And also you got like the Captain America shield that's Easter eggs, and that boy will later become Spider-Man. There's more Easter eggs. I kind of like it. So anyway, so I think I have more to talk about. Yeah, that's more I talk about. I don't talk about a lot of the plots. There's nothing else to talk about in this movie. I'm not saying it was a bad movie, but at the same time, it wasn't. It's in the middle to me. I think it's a bit better than Incredible Hulk. Incredible Hulk was okay. This was slightly decent. So yeah, my final star rating for Iron Man 2, I'll give it 3.5 stars. It was okay. A downgrade than the first movie. Could be a lot better. The movie was about 2 hours. I think it was a bit too short. If they put more time, if they put about another 10 to 15 minutes, maybe it could be better. Develop more of the character of Whiplash, because he in this fight he was with the lashes, and then in the final scenes, in the final fight scenes, he's wearing the armor. It was a bit disappointing, and he's not be Crimson Crimson Dynamo. That's his dad's alter ego. Unfortunately, I think like it's too soon. I think it's too predictable that the comic book fans, but they know, because they follow comics. But you gotta get your core characters right, like point characters that people are not familiar. The more familiar of the the established characters, or whether it's in the Marvel or DC universe. So anyway, so I think that's it. Yeah, there's nothing else to talk about. Yeah, like John Favreau's character, Happy Hogan. It came off good. He's funny. Did he put in Iron Man? Sorry, Spider-Man: Homecoming and Spider-Man: Far From Home? I think he did. I don't know. His character didn't came off annoying. He came off funny and good. So yeah. Yeah, that's another side note. So I hope you enjoyed my review of Iron Man 2. Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Smash the like button and subscribe to the Central Man Network on YouTube for more, Marvel stuff. Because I'm covering reviewing every episode of WandaVision. That'll be every Wednesday. So I'm gonna watch and review episode 2. That'll be on Wednesday. So anyway, so next time we're in the 4th movie of Phase 1 of MCU. We got Thor 2011, so stay tuned for that. So this is Central Man officially signing out. Check you later. Iron Man 2, it was okay. Could be a lot better. Wasn't a bad movie. Wasn't great, but it was a decent movie. Fuck it. Instead of 3.5 stars, let's give it 3 stars. It was a decent movie for what it is.